Welcome to the Yamaha Garage. Thanks for joining us today for some useful service information and technical tips on maintaining your Yamaha XT250 Dual Sport. Today's video is going to cover one of the most important and frequent maintenance tasks, how to properly check and change your XT's engine oil. Maintaining the correct oil level and performing regular oil changes are of course extremely important, but it's not the only critical maintenance task to keep an eye on. To ensure your XT keeps running strong and maintains that legendary Yamaha reliability, make sure to keep up with the full maintenance schedule. You can find the handy checklist in your owner's manual, Chapter 7, pages 7-3 through 7-7. Most of today's ethanol fuel only has a shelf life of approximately 90 days. So if you're not sure when you're going to ride again, we recommend you treat your fuel with Fuel Med RX. We've tested Fuel Med extensively, and when used regularly, it can keep fuel fresh for up to a year. Owners of older carbureted models should note that we recommend turning the fuel Petcock off and allowing the engine to run until fuel is completely drained from the carburetor before storing or sitting for extended periods. Finally, if you can't get out and ride your XT regularly and it's going to sit for 30 days or more, we recommend tending to the battery with an appropriate battery maintainer. We use the NOCO Genius in our shop to keep our variety of batteries charged and ready. You can buy a NOCO and Fuel Med RX at your Yamaha dealer or online at yamaha-motor.com. For more details on these tech tips, see our video on care and storage. When we look at the owner's manual, we see that Yamaha specifies the initial break-in oil change at 600 miles, or 1 month of use, whichever comes first. And then again at 4,000 miles, or 6 months of use, and then every 3,000 miles, or 6 months after that. And while the manual recommends changing the oil filter at the initial service and only every other service following, while we already have all of our tools out, we always change the oil filter with every oil change. Note, Yamaha recommends you check the engine oil level before every ride. We'll be showing you how to do that a little later in the video. So, why are regular oil changes so important? Simple. Clean oil is the lifeblood of your engine. Clean, fresh motor oil creates a film on the internal engine parts that reduces friction, heat, and abrasion on critical moving parts like bearings, rods, and gears to keep your engine running cooler. Keeps parts clean by suspending contaminants to prevent internal corrosion. And it creates a seal for strong combustion and reliable performance. When you change your XT250 oil on schedule, you are taking the most proactive step you can to reduce engine wear and preserve the life of your motorcycle. So, now that we've taken care of the when and why, let's get on with the how. Expect an oil change in your XT to take just a little over 45 minutes to complete, with a Yamaha difficulty rating of 1 wrench, or easy to do. Let's get started. Before conducting any type of maintenance, we always want to be sure to start with a clean machine, since we definitely don't want to introduce any outside dirt or a foreign substance to the internal parts of your engine. Let's keep the dirt on the outside. Luckily, that brings us to our next tech tip. Yamaha has you covered when it comes to clean with a full range of Yamalube quality care products. The most effective way to safely remove dirt and grime is with YamaClean Pro Wash Spray. It's safe for the surfaces of your XT, it rinses clean, and it's biodegradable. What about stubborn oil, grease, and other muck that's hard to wash off the metal parts? Yamaha has you covered here as well with our Yamalube External Engine Cleaner. It's great at cutting through hard to remove grease. And for internal engine parts, you can use Yamalube Brake and Contact Cleaner. Finally, want to make the cleanup even easier next time? After every wash, apply Yamalube YamaCoat plastic coating to the underside of the fenders and plastic body parts. It helps inhibit adhesion so mud and dirt rinse right off. All clean? Great. Now let's make sure we have everything we need to successfully complete this regular service. For our oil change, we'll need 2 quarts of Yamalube engine oil. For most conditions other than extreme hot or cold temperatures, we recommend using Yamalube 10W40 HP High Performance Full Synthetic in the gold bottle. An oil filter element and rubber O-rings if needed, an oil drain bolt crush washer, and the following tools and safety equipment: a ratchet with 12 and 14 millimeter sockets, a 5 millimeter Allen head tool or socket, torque wrench, funnel, oil pan, clean shop towel, gloves, eye protection, a strap, and your owner's manual. And why Yamalube? Because we're going to spare you from venturing down that "what oil should I use" rabbit hole of online debate. There's no second guessing here. Yamalube was formulated in close collaboration with Yamaha engine designers, not only to meet industry standards like JASO MA, but to meet the exact demands and operating characteristics of your Yamaha engine. In other words, Nothing enhances the performance or protects the advanced design of a Yamaha quite like Yamalube and Yamaha genuine oil filters. Make sure to check out our Yamalube videos to learn more of why it's the go-to oil for your XT. To begin your oil change, warm up the engine by letting it run for a few minutes outside or in a well-ventilated area. You can quickly touch the engine case for a check. If it's warm to the touch, you're good to begin the service. Turn the engine off. Before you start work, it's always important to make sure your bike is securely parked on a level surface with wheels chalked or transmission put in gear to reduce the chance of it rolling. I like to just squeeze the front brake lever and use a strap to secure the brake on. Place an oil pan under the drain bolt at the bottom center of the engine to collect the used engine oil. To allow the oil to drain more quickly, remove the engine oil filler cap to increase airflow. Since you never want any debris or foreign material to accidentally go down the filler tube, it's a good idea to place the unscrewed cap loosely over the filler hole. Nothing but Yamalube should enter your engine. With safety gloves on, loosen and carefully remove the engine oil drain bolt and crush washer with a 12mm socket and ratchet and let the oil drain into your pan. Remember, engine parts and of course the oil will be hot, so be careful. Clean off the drain bolt and discard the old washer. Place the new crush washer on the drain bolt and set it aside. We like to keep removed bolts and parts in a magnetic tray so they remain undamaged and easy to find when it's time to reinstall them. While we have the oil draining from the crankcase, let's go to the oil filter to change it too. The XT's filter is located behind a cover on the right side of the engine and is held on by 3 5mm hex bolts. Loosen each bolt in sequence, a practice you should always follow both for loosening and especially for tightening. Remove the bolts, and an important note for reinstallation, notice that the forwardmost bolt is much longer than the other two. So make sure the longer bolt is returned to the correct position. With the cover removed, pull the element out and with a gloved hand, drain it into your oil pan and place it upright in the box the new filter came in for proper disposal. Clean the crankcase cavity with a clean towel. Never spray cleaner into the cavity, just wipe it clean. Reinstall the new filter the correct way with this end going in first toward the internal engine. To avoid leaks, check the O-ring on the cover and the small O-ring seated in the crankcase next to where the upper 5mm hex bolt is received. Replace either or both if necessary. Fit the cover on the engine and carefully hand tighten the 3 bolts in a cross pattern. Again, being careful not to cross thread. Once hand tight, finish by tightening them with your torque wrench to 7.4 pound-feet. Using a torque wrench is essential for proper mechanical service and repair. See our video on torque wrench basics to learn how to properly use a torque wrench like the one we have here. There are several different types of torque wrenches, so get one of these very important tools and familiarize yourself with its use. The oil from the crankcase should be fully drained by now. Don't worry if there's still a small dribble. We'll now carefully hand thread the drain bolt back in, making sure the new crush washer is still in place. Be very careful not to cross thread it. It should turn in very easily. If it feels tight, stop, remove it, and rethread it until it easily screws in. Hand tighten it and then torque it to 15 pound-feet. Next, give the drain bolt and surrounding area a quick wipe down with a clean towel, perhaps with a spray of contact cleaner to clean up any residual oil. With the oil drain bolt and oil filter cover cleaned, tightened, and torqued, it's time to grab your funnel and add your fresh Yamalube through the filler opening. Since we removed the filter, we'll add 1.16 quarts, which calculates to 37 fluid ounces. Here's an often overlooked convenience. Did you know Yamalube oil bottles come with a handy liter and ounce measurement scale on the side to help you pour an accurate quantity? There's also a right way and a wrong way to pour oil from your Yamalube bottle. Pour with the slant side down for a smoother pour and less spilling. There you go. A couple more reasons why Yamalube is awesome. The engine oil in your XT also lubricates the clutch. So in order to prevent clutch slippage, do not use automotive oils with friction-reducing additives or add any chemical additives. Just use Yamalube engine oil and you'll always be sure you have the right blend. As mentioned, the oil capacity after a filter clean is 37 ounces. Begin refilling by adding a full quart of Yamalube, which is 32 ounces, and then open the second quart and carefully add 5 ounces from it. With the 37 ounces of Yamalube added, check the filler cap O-ring for wear and damage, and of course replace it if needed. Install the filler cap and snug it hand tight. Clean around the filler cap and drain bolt area of any spilt oil using a clean towel and a spray of Yamalube brake and contact cleaner if needed. Now let's verify that the oil level is good. The engine oil level needs to be checked, certainly after every oil change, but also make it a habit to check it before every ride. There are a few simple steps to checking the oil level of your XT250. Warm the engine oil by letting the engine idle for a few minutes in a well-ventilated area. While it's warming, check for any visual leaks. Of course, shut off the engine and correct the issue if there is one. When the crankcase cover is warm to the touch, the engine oil is warm enough to shut off the engine and begin the oil level check. Wait a few minutes for the oil to settle, and while you're waiting, plan to sit your bike straight up and safely secure it from rolling by placing it in gear and/or secure the front brake on with a strap around the lever and hand grip. You can always have a buddy or family member hold it up or just sit on it to help you out. With the bike secure and upright, look at the check window on the bottom right side of the engine. The engine oil should be between the minimum and maximum level marks. If low, adjust the level by slowly adding small amounts of Yamalube and continuously rechecking until it's raised to the correct level. If it's too high, carefully loosen but don't remove the drain bolt and slowly drain out oil until the proper level is achieved. It is common knowledge that a low oil level can cause engine damage, but too much oil can cause issues too, such as oil blow-by and leaks. Excess oil can also be forced into the airbox and can cause poor running and damage. So be certain the oil level does not exceed the maximum level mark. And remember, you should always check the oil level after the engine has been idling for a minute or two, then give it a few minutes to settle. Congratulations! You successfully completed a Yamalube oil change and oil level check on your XT250. Great work. Note that a Yamaha Technical Academy Gold Tech always cleans his tools and puts them back in order after every job. And one last important step. Always remember to dispose of the used oil in an appropriate, environmentally safe manner. You can either take the oil to your nearest Yamaha dealer recycling center or ask your local auto parts supplier if you can drop it off there. Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out the Yamaha YouTube channel for more do-it-yourself videos and technical tips. Now let's get out and ride.